Tonight on CTV News at 11:30, a woman has died following a fire at a homeless encampment in Sudbury.
Individuals at Energy Court noticed a tent fire. They were able to extinguish it with snow.
The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Plus, mum's the word from around the Callander Council table.
And out of respect for that process and our legal and privacy obligations, Council is not able to comment further.
Still no answers as to why the town's mayor and a councillor resigned. And evacuations continue out of Kashechewan.
It's just assessing and also doing the repairs and making sure that the teams that are coming in have the proper resources.
It's been 10 days since the community declared a state of emergency over its water.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Well, good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. A woman has died following an overnight fire at a homeless encampment in Sudbury. It happened near the warming center at Energy Court. CTV's Amanda Hicks has details.
Yellow tape surrounds the area near Sudbury's warming center where the fire broke out just before 10 o'clock Monday night. By the time help arrived, it was already too late.
Individuals at Energy Court noticed a tent fire. They were able to extinguish it with snow. However, once they extinguished it, they did find a deceased person inside the tent.
Police have identified the victim as a 38-year-old woman. While the cause is still under investigation, Sudbury's fire chief says this is a challenge facing many Ontario cities.
It is one of the biggest challenges for fire services right now in Ontario. We have formed a working group that includes internal and external stakeholders across the city so that it's a coordinated effort that tries to find balance between the need for warmth, and which sometimes means using fire, and of course, ultimate public safety to try and prevent something tragic like happened last night.
It is a tragic loss.
The 24/7 warming center, located just steps away, is run by the Go Give project. While the facility was not at capacity at the time of the fire, the organization says it is continuing to work with the city of Greater Sudbury on a long-term response.
We still aren't aware of what the cause was at this time, so there are ongoing investigations taking place. So we can't really speak to a solution for this specific problem, but we can share that we are working very closely with community partners, including the city, to come up with more rapid solutions for, the overall general crisis that our community is facing.
The fire marshal and coroner have taken the lead on the investigation, looking to identify the cause of death and determine what sparked the fatal fire. More details will be released following a post-mortem. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
One person has died following a fatal two-vehicle crash on Manitoulin Island tonight. It happened around 5:30 along Highway 540 between Emery and Robertson Roads in Gore Bay. The driver of one of the cars was pronounced dead at the scene. A second involved driver was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. At last check, the highway was said to be still closed. Well, new tonight, the Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities, or FNOM, is sounding the alarm over staggering new numbers involving the homeless in our region. According to data released today by the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, more than 85,000 Ontarians experienced homelessness in 2025. That's an increase of 8%. Here in the north, homelessness grew by more than 37% in just 1 year, compared to 7.8% provincially. It means the north now accounts for nearly 10% of known homelessness in the province. In a statement, FNOM President and campus-gazing Mayor Dave Plourde writes, in part, municipalities are doing everything they can, but the scale of the crisis now demands decisive leadership and coordinated action from the province. Few details were released at a council meeting tonight in Callander as the town continues to deal with the lack of a mayor and councillor. Deputy Mayor Jordy Carr chaired the meeting this evening. In it, she revealed it's now before an independent integrity commissioner. Former Mayor Rob Noon and Councillor Irene Smith surprised many with their sudden resignation on December 19th. No formal explanation has been given to date, and Carr admitted tonight in her remarks she knows it's frustrating.
I want to acknowledge the significant public interest following the recent resignations. I understand that people are looking for clarity at this time. An independent integrity commissioner process is underway. And out of respect for that process and our legal and privacy obligations, Council is not able to comment further. What I can say is that council has been acting on legal advice, fulfilling its statutory responsibilities, and prioritizing the stability of the municipality.
Council was also provided a report asking them on how they plan to fill the vacancies before the fall election. Staff will revise their report and come back to one of the next meetings with options, which could include appointing someone from the 2022 candidates, appointing someone known to council, creating an open application process, or holding a by-election. Evacuations continue out of Kashechewan First Nation as the community continues to deal with a state of emergency. CTV's Angela Campbell has the latest.
About 700 of the 2,200 residents of Kashechewan have been evacuated, with more expected in the coming week as leadership of the beleaguered First Nation work to fix all the issues.
No timeline right now. Right now, it's just assessing and also doing the repairs and making sure that the teams that are coming in have the proper resources.
It's been 10 days since the Northern Ontario community declared a state of emergency due to its failing water system. The water treatment system is being repaired, and Wesley says water is flowing from taps. However, it's heavily chlorinated and the do not consume order remains in place. But along with the water problems, some residents are sick with gastrointestinal issues.
There is no correlation right now, no real evidence to kind of tie the water to all of these issues, but we are asking public health to make sure that the people that are experiencing gastro issues to be tested to confirm whether or not it is bacteria from the water.
Kashechewan Council represents 7 Cree First Nations in Northern Ontario. The chiefs of that group are demanding the federal and provincial governments commit to sustainable long-term solutions for water treatment and wastewater infrastructure in Kashechewan and other First Nations along the James Bay coast.
Because our water plant is outdated, and so are the other plants in the coastal communities.
Chief Friday calls the situation in Cash a humanitarian crisis.
They drink from the tap, and that tap is not really good. If you wanted to make tea, you see a cream oil on top of your tea when you make a tea. It's really something that nobody from down south would accept to use.
A contingent of First Nation leaders is expected in Kashechewan this Thursday to see the situation firsthand. Invited to be part of that is Minister of Indigenous Affairs Greg Rickford. Wesley is hopeful Rickford will prioritize the visit since he is supposed to work for First Nations. Angela Campbell, CTV News, Sudbury.
A 25-year-old man is facing charges in North Bay after police say they found him carrying drugs and counterfeit cash. According to police, he was stopped on failing to comply with release and probation orders on McLaren Avenue. The man fled and was later found hiding under a car on Ann Street. Investigators say they found a small amount of cocaine and 3 counterfeit $50 bills with serial numbers that match previously reported fake currency. Meanwhile, Sudbury police arresting a 55-year-old man for drug trafficking over the weekend in Esther, south of the city. Police say they were investigating a person who is believed to be in possession of multiple unlawful firearms. When police searched the home on Elbow Lake Road, investigators say they found more than $8,000 worth of cocaine and $150,000 in cash. They also found 3 loaded guns. The man faces 12 criminal charges. Sudbury Mayor Paula 5 is calling on the Ontario government to intervene in LifeLab's decision to close the Greater Sudbury Laboratory this spring. In a letter, he writes it will result in the loss of 40 medical, laboratory and technologist jobs. The 5 also says the shift from the Sudbury lab to Toronto will create unnecessary risks and cause delays for patients in the north.
It's completely unfair. This is equity, right? We live in one province. We should be able to at least get the same level of service that they get in the GTA area. I understand it's a massive province, and I get the distance issues. But this is Sudbury, population of over 190,000 people. We're actually serving a lot of people in the Northeast as well.
LifeLab's laboratory in Sudbury processes diagnostic samples from communities across Northern Ontario, like Sault Ste. Marie, North Bay, and other locations.
We need to advocate. I know I'm not the only one advocating for that, but it's key that we join our voices to the ministry to see how they can intervene to ensure that that key component of our healthcare system, which is lab testing and a lot of results that are basically done in a timely way for us in the north. And with this new, obviously, system that they're looking at doing, basically that would just delay it even further.
Healthcare decisions are a provincial matter. However, LaFive says he is advocating for Northern Ontario to continue having Northerners running tests for other Northerners. The province today says it's fast-tracking a mining project in the Timmins area under its One Project, One Process framework. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
The Crawford project near Timmins is another step closer to becoming one of the world's largest nickel mines. The Minister of Energy and Mines says he wants to speed up the opening of this mine to unlock 4,000 jobs and to add $70 billion to Canada's economy as soon as possible.
This is a company that has demonstrated a strong commitment to collaboration, both with First Nations and with community. And so they have our full endorsement.
It's the only mining company in the country so far to receive endorsement from both the federal and provincial governments for having a shovel-ready project.
The transformation that we've seen with the regulatory authorities in terms of how they want to work collaboratively, still as rigorously, but as collaboratively to get permits done, this will give us the certainty to be able to hit that construction milestone by year end.
Matagami First Nation says announcements like this matter because they reflect how Indigenous partnerships are critical to advancing mining projects.
It's one that's built on respect, understanding, and also knowing that there is a responsibility as we move forward with this project. Long gone are the days where First Nation input in terms of sustainability and environmental issues are not factored in.
Nickel is a critical mineral for the green energy industry, and the province says with $4 billion of it in the Timmins region, the city is the center of the new economy.
We've just recently seen what Trump did in Venezuela, embargoing the oil, because he doesn't have any. Well, he doesn't have any nickel either, but he's not going to be able to take our nickel out of the ground. Not a bloody chance. Not a bloody chance. We've got it right here, and we're going to process it here, and we're going to develop value-added industries here in the north. That's our future. That's the promise.
Canada Nickel wants to begin construction on the Crawford mine by the end of this year and open by the fourth quarter of 2028. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick, we'll have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the current conditions. No weather warnings yet to speak of, but things are deteriorating quickly in certain areas. Highway 11 and 17 at Hearst and White River. We're also seeing smaller routes near Hornpain, all closed because of weather. -10 in Kapuskasing. That's the coldest spot right now. We're seeing some flurries, some heavy flurries for some reason at the North Bay Airport. Some moderate snow in Parry Sound. We'll have more details after the break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Welcome back to more snow, more precipitation here in northeastern Ontario. Some freezing drizzle at times in some locales. Of course, some snow for today, more this evening, and some even overnight. Forecast radar here is the system that we had to endure for today. We'll have remnants in the forecast for tomorrow, and then it'll get sunny but colder in the northeast on Thursday, so we can look forward to that. And some different weather, some colder weather as well. Sudbury Nickel Belt, chance of flurries tomorrow -12, -16 on Thursday with the sunshine. Friday, periods of snow. Saturday, chance of snow on Sunday, and chance of flurries come Monday. But take a look at some of these temperatures all over the road. We go from -7 to -14 to -13 to -21. So some warmer temperatures and some colder temperatures over the course of the next week. Sault Ste. Marie Algoma, chance of flurries -11. Another day of -11 weather with the sunshine on Thursday. Periods of snow Friday. Saturday, chance of snow. Sunday, chance of snow. Difference in temperature, though. You go from -4 to -8 to -11. Monday, some cloud cover as well. Here we go with Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. Periods of snow tomorrow, -18, and getting colder over the course of the week. Thursday, we've got sunshine, -17. Chance of snow Friday. Chance of flurries on Saturday at -15, then cooling down again on Sunday, -19 with a chance of flurries. Monday, cloud cover with a high of -18. How about Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake? Periods of snow tomorrow, -12. Getting colder Thursday. Sunny skies, -17. Chance of snow Friday. Again, chance of snow Saturday and the chance of flurries Sunday. So -7, -10, -15 your highs, and some cloud cover come Monday with a high of -15. That is, well, not your normal for this time of the year. As you can clearly see, your normal should be at about -10. North Bay, West Nipissing, periods of snow tomorrow, -7. Sunny skies and colder on Thursday, -18. Periods of snow on Friday, chance of snow Saturday, chance of snow Sunday, and chance of flurries once again on Monday. But those temperatures, a bit of a variation, -8, -9, -13, and -14. So, Ian, how do you like your snow so far living in Noelville? All kinds of precipitation going on again, off again, some colder weather coming at you as well over the course of the next couple of days. Back to you.
Already waiting for the sun. Thanks so much, Rick. Well, North Bay firefighters are issuing a warning about oscillating fan fires and the dangers they pose when they're left running too long. Over the past 6 months, crews have responded to 3 fires caused by fans that were left on for an extended period of time. Fire services reminding you to check the cords on household fans for fraying, avoid running them while you're sleeping, and clean them thoroughly. Fire crews say older models, especially those with worn cords or lacking modern safety features, pose a higher risk. And if you hear grinding sounds or smell burning, unplug immediately. Sault Ste. Marie City Council has appointed a new fire chief. Naomi Thibault was named at last night's meeting and will take over the role February 1st. Thibault is the first female fire chief in the city. She's been with the Sault Fire Services since 2015 and has been deputy chief since 2023. Thibault replaces Peter Johnson, who is retiring after 31 years. Canada's steel industry is certainly feeling the impact of U.S. tariffs. Algoma Steel announcing fourth quarter losses were between $95 and $105 million. In a statement, the company's CEO says the losses were in line with the steelmaker's expectations and reflect the impact of tariffs and the wind down of the blast furnace. The CEO expressed optimism for the year ahead, citing defense, supply chains, and critical infrastructure supports Algoma Steel looks to be a part of. Despite 1,000 layoffs coming in March, the company hopes to add hundreds of longer-term jobs as domestic orders start coming in. The city of North Bay says 2025 was a banner year for housing construction. Residential construction accounted for close to $50 million of the total construction values for 2025, which reached $147 million, nearly double the previous year's total. The institutional sector accounted for the largest share, largely from the new community and recreation center, as well as 60 new affordable housing units for seniors at the site of a former school.
The half funding the Housing Accelerator Fund through the feds, the $10.2 million that we received for that has a big impetus in making and putting together affordable housing units within our community. And those, I think, are the key that we have been able to achieve with some of the policies, procedures that we've put in place over the past couple of years.
The city believes early indicators suggest 2026 will continue with strong building momentum. We are getting reaction today on a mega merger involving a mining company with operations in Northern Ontario. Glencore is in talks with Rio Tinto. Officials with Unifor Mine Mill Local 598 say if the two companies merged, it would take years for Sudbury members to see change. Eric Boulay says the two companies are global heavyweights and going through with this acquisition is not an easy task.
Our members have been through this before. So the takeover from Glencore to Xstrata and Xstrata to Falconbridge, and Noranda was in there too. So in Ontario, we have successor rights. So we'll maintain our collective agreement and we'll just make sure that process is followed, because really that's what we can do as the union.
Boulay says that the union hasn't received any more information on the possible takeover, but he encourages members to attend union meetings to keep up to date. Still ahead tonight on CTV News. A winter program for seniors continues to grow despite running out of grant funding. More on that after this. Canadian transportation authorities have logged more than 100 reports of disruptive air passengers last year. Everything from inappropriate touching, instigating fights, to uttering threats and sneaking on flights. CTV's Scott Hurst has details.
We're talking rage at cruising altitude and sometimes even before flights get off the ground. Canadian transportation authorities logged more than 100 reports of disruptive air passengers last year. The incidents caused numerous flights to be delayed, diverted, or turned back to the gate. In many cases, the passengers causing the disturbances were arrested or escorted off the plane by police. The 114 reports include a wide range of bad behavior, including refusing to return to a seat, vaping on board, uttering threats, assault, and indecent exposure, just to name a few. 45 of the 114 reports were filed by flights departing or arriving in Calgary, by far the most for any Canadian city. It is, as we know, a major WestJet hub, followed by Toronto with 27 reports and Vancouver with 21. In a statement, a WestJet and Sunwing spokesperson said the airlines have zero tolerance for this behavior. Air Canada tells CTV News the number of reported incidents is a small fraction of the millions of flying customers every year. The reports of bad behavior, however, are actually trending downwards over the past few years, but union reps for flight attendants tell CTV News cases of disruptive passengers often go unreported, depending on the severity of the incidents. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
A winter seniors program in the north continues to grow despite no longer having grant funding. CTV's Lindsay Alick tells us more.
The parking lot is full as seniors in Sudbury gather at Kiwi Park for the twice-weekly seniors program.
Originally, the program, we got a grant for it. It was supposed to be run mostly during the summer. That was our main idea. And then we found out that we had a timeline to use the grant. So we came up with the idea of the winter program, thinking that the program would have maybe 30 participants. But even the first day we had over 60. And then now we're averaging about 90 to 120, with our most popular day last year being 195 participants.
For the past 3 years, the program was free, but with grant funding coming to an end, it will now be pay what you can donations.
It doesn't matter what amount, it's whatever they can afford to give. Sometimes it's $2, some it's $5 per day. But with their donation, then they get access to free rentals, access to the trail, and then a snack and a drink at the end.
For some, it's about socialization. For others, it's all about the exercise. Either way, participants I talk to say it's fun.
It's exercise. It gets you outside. Okay, and there's no better exercise than walking or hiking and that. And so it's great. And plus you get to meet people, and after have a coffee, stand around the fire. Can't beat it. It's a great program.
This is where I met Ted 2 years ago.
Participants can choose from a variety of activities, including cross-country skiing and snowshoeing.
I remember the first day of the first program, these two ladies met just waiting in line to register, and now it's the 4th year and they still come every single day. And they've actually let me know that like now they make it like a day. So before the program, they go out for breakfast. And then at noon, they come here, get their equipment, and go out.
The program runs Tuesdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. until March 6th. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
In the OHL, 80 of the league's players have made NHL Central Scouting's midterm rankings. Sioux Greyhounds defenseman Chase Reed topped the list for Northern teams, landing 4th in the rankings. North Bay Battalion's forward Ryder Callie is 22nd rather, and Sudbury Wolves' new acquisition Adam Nemec made the international skaters list at 29th. Reed, Callie, and Wolves winger Rowan Henderson will be playing tomorrow night in the 2026 Connor McDavid OHL Top Prospects game in Peterborough. The NHL Draft is June 26th and 27th. One game tonight over in the NOJHL. That matchup involved the French River Rapids, who were in Powassan taking on the Voodoo, and it was a high-scoring game. But the Voodoo come out on top here with Ryan Saginaw, Justin Russo, and Pavel Barkley, each scoring a pair of goals. Final score 11-5. Finally tonight, the Ottawa 67s left Northern Ontario this weekend with a little more than their 2000th franchise win. They left with a taste of Indigenous culture following a stop on Manitoulin Island. Supporters from Ondik-Omnikaning, Little Current, Chiging, Wigwamkong, and all over the island played host to the boys who were in the region facing off against all 3 of our northern teams. There was team building, smudge teachings, fire building, Eagle staff teachings, archery, and a culinary competition. Team leader and defenseman Cohen Ishkok again calls the island home. Very cool. Wondering how teenage boys did in a culinary competition. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Tuesday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.